What's up, guys? MHhauser321 here, playing Blaster Master for the NES, created by Sunsoft, released in North America in 1988. It is a side-scrolling slash platform. What did I say? Platforming, side-scrolling slash overhead view type game. It's a pretty good game. It's actually really fun. I enjoyed beating it and learning about it. I'm going to start off with the basics. I don't have a whole lot of time here, so I'm going to try to fit it in as fast as I can. The basics is two things. You'll see right now we're in our tank mode, which is and I paused it here so you can see the different guns. There's three types of guns. You have a health bar over there on the left. That's your health bar. It's called power. I'm pretty sure it just means power. And enemies can drop little health pellets. They're just little circles with the letter P in them. Basically restores one little bar of health there. You also have a separate mode where you can get out of the tank, and I call it tiny mode. You run around as a little dude and shoot stuff and explore, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool feature of the game. But let's get into the plot really quick. I'm actually just going to the first dungeon. So the game has 6 dungeons or 7 dungeons. So you play in this this tank mode. I would say this is platforming mode. And you make your way to the dungeons. And when you get to the dungeons, there's a boss at the end of the dungeon, and you get an item which upgrades your tank. And your tank needs 6 upgrades, I think, or 7 upgrades to actually be able to get to the final boss and beat the game itself. So you have to do it. You can see the upgrades are kind of in that pause screen. If you go back and look at it, there's like little lines. Those are all the upgrades. And then you fight this enemy that kind of looks like a Metroid. Anyway, so the plot of the game. The plot is you're this character named Jason, and one day your frog jumps down into a hole, and he escapes. He runs into some radioactive stuff too, by the way, and he escapes. And you jump down the hole to chase after him, and you find a tank. The tank that we're using now. This is tiny mode, by the way, which is a pretty cool feature of the game. The little guy runs around and shoots and ducks. And so we're at the first dungeon. And so the plot is... Sorry, I can't get this out. The plot is Jason chases after his pet frog. And his frog escapes and goes into this like underworld area. And your whole goal of the game is to catch your frog. You're trying to get him back. You're trying to find him. But apparently it's run. This whole underground area is run by somebody named the Plutonium Boss, which I never got, never really understood. But the story's kind of weird because they changed the story. The story was actually different in the Japanese version of the game, and it's a different type of game. Well, no, it's the same game, but it's supposed to be set in a different background. You're supposed to be playing in space in the Japanese version of the game, I think, if I say that correctly. I'm not an expert on that, but there aren't any save points or save slots. You have to beat it all in one go, and you get, I think, 3 continues and 3 lives on each one. In order to kill these guys here, I do something weird. I kind of wait for them to be over an area where they're power up. I can actually get it, because sometimes if they die over the spikes, you can't get it. So this is the first boss. It's a giant brain looking thing. The best way to beat him, as you can tell, is to spam grenades. There's 2, when you're in this top down mode, there's 2 guns. You've got your normal gun and you've got bombs. Bombs spam a lot faster than the normal gun. You can see over there where it says gun. So we got the first tank upgrade, and it is called... I think first tank upgrade is actually a gun. It's actually for your gun. It increases your gun strength a little bit. And the gun itself, when you're in tiny mode, that gun power up, it becomes very important later on in the game, because you can't actually beat the game without having a fully upgraded gun. I mean, you can, but you have to be really good. And I, being not a pro this game, found that the the only way to beat them is to have a full gun upgrade when you go in, which is easy, and I'll show you when I get there how to get it. But so we beat the first dungeon. See, there, it's called Hyper. The first tank upgrade is called Hyper. So we beat the first dungeon, and now we're going to the second dungeon, and you got to make your way back a little bit. There's a little bit of backtracking in this game, not that much. They kind of minimized it as much as they could, to be honest, and you can tell because they don't want you to have to backtrack. But that first instance here, so we got our upgraded gun that we got from our first boss, and we go over to the left here, and we run into this, like, I don't know what it is there. It's kind of like a guardian. He's guarding this wall. And now that you have the upgraded gun, you can kill him. And we are headed to the next area. And I don't believe in this video we're going to fight the next boss, but I will get you to halfway. I think I'll get you right to the first dungeon. So we're entering area 2, and then we get to meet these enemies. They look like the Silverfish from Minecraft. If I'm honest, that's what I really think about when I see them. They're just kind of like little worms, and they are the most annoying enemy in the entire game. They are hard to kill. You can't shoot them at a bottom, like when your tank's shooting, you can't hit them. You have to hit them at an angle. Like, they'll run into you, and they don't do that much damage, to be honest. They do like maybe a half a bar damage, I think. But a lot of this game is just memorization. Like, I found that the more I played it, the better I got at it. And I think it's scary at the start. Like, it really is scary. You can't get very far if you don't know much, and you can't actually progress if you don't know what enemies are coming. Once you get used to all the enemies that are coming, you get like you learn little strategies and stuff to beat it. Like beating this room. At first, I used to take damage here all the time, but I learned how to get through it. And so this red stuff, you don't want to land in it. It does like damage over time as you're in it, and it's really hard to get out of it. It's almost like jumping into quicksand. That's what it feels like. But you go to the top left of this room, and that'll take you to the next section. I do think it's weird that the tank was named Sofia the Third. I don't know if that was done on purpose or if it was just a sort of game design / flaw when they ported it over from the Japanese version. See how your tank can't hit those on a base level? It's kind of upsetting. You have to find ways to kill them, there's another way, which is to get in tiny mode and shoot those worms. The thing about this game that makes it beatable, and I think the only thing that makes it beatable is that how much health the enemies drop. If the enemies didn't drop health as often as they did, you wouldn't be able to do it, because you'd be dead. And I've been saved so many times just by health drops. Like, before I started this area, I think I had like a half a health. Now I'm back to full. I'm using tri-missiles there just a little bit. Okay, so we're coming up on the beginning of the dungeon area for section 1, and you know, because your tank can't go any further, you have to get out in tiny mode to proceed through. And I think the next one is another gun upgrade after the next dungeon. I'm going to stop right before this dungeon, and that's going to be it for this video. Please let me know what you think in the description, if you like this game choice or whatever. Take care.